beautiful people, it is your girl Rashima here, coming to you from my channel Shima XL. If you are here, most likely you want to know how I feel about student loans, and that is what I will be giving you guys today. But before we get there, if you have not already, go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can be a part of the family. And if you would like to get a notification every time your girl posts a new video, hit that bell icon that is usually located in the right top hand corner of the screen or next to the subscribe button down below. So let's get right into it. Alright, many may ask, Rashima, why are you posting a video about loans? You know, not all of us are taking out loans. Well, somebody messaged me actually. Somebody wanted to get my ideas, my thoughts, and my opinions on student loans, and this is what I had to say. Loans are a blessing and a curse, and let me tell you why I say that. Because they're a blessing because they help us do the things that we need to do that we are not in the financial state to do them. But they are also a curse because when you have to pay them back, and you see that large lump sum of money just, you know, dripping away from your paycheck monthly, you're like, oh God, this is the price that I have to pay for all the help that these people gave me. But without further ado, let me just tell you guys this. I repeat, I am not an expert when it comes to finance. I just so happened to be finishing up a conversation a couple of days ago with somebody who is actually in the Office of Financial Aid and works with people who are, you know, in the financial realm of things, who were able to give me some advice. And that's why I wanted to make this video, so that I could come and give you guys some of the advice that they gave me. I don't want to say give you all the advice, because what it will work for my particular situation might not work for yours. So let's just get into why people take out student loans. I can only speak for myself, but for me, I actually ended up taking a year off of school before I wanted to apply to grad school, just to see if I could save any money for grad school. Now, saving money, it could have been $1, it could have been $200, it could have been $1,000. I was able to save something for grad school, but not enough to pay for my entire tuition for grad school. So the loans will come in to help me pay for things like tuition, maybe help with living expenses or books and all of that good stuff, you know, like the fees that are associated with going to college. You know, I have accrued a bit of student loans already, not a substantial amount, but I do have some student loans that I got when I was an undergrad student, and it's nothing wrong with that. You know, I didn't come from a family that had the money sitting in the bank account to send me off to school. No, I had to get some help. So first things first, let's talk about the different types of loans that there are. There are things called Stanford loans. I think that's the name of it. I'll put it across the screen so you guys can see it. But those are basically the loans that we call the subsidized and unsubsidized loans. I have both of them, and I accrued not a substantial amount of loans in my undergrad, but I do have loans from my undergraduate degree, and I will be taking out more student loans in graduate school to help me pay for my tuition, my books, and those kinds of things, the fees that are associated with going to school, right? So with the subsidized loans, that's the loan where the government will opt to pay for your interest while you're in school. That doesn't mean that you will not have interest at all. That just means for the time that you are a student at the university or at the state college, wherever you are, they will pay that interest down. And once you graduate, they will give you a grace period until you have to start paying your loans back, and you will be responsible for any interest that is accrued after that time. Okay, so as far as unsubsidized loans, those loans start banking interest the day that you receive that check in your bank account. All right, so whenever they drop that money in your bank account, that's when you are responsible for the interest. Now, what somebody told me was, you know, it'll be better for you, or it'll be a good option for you to see if you can make enough money to pay the interest while you're in school. So if you have a little part-time job, try to, you know, maybe put $20 to $50 away a month just to gear towards the interest of the loan, so that when you graduate, you won't be looking at the loan like, darn, how much did I take out? Because the interest has built up over that time. So that's just one thing that you could do. The other types of loans are private loans and Perkins loans. Like I stated before, I am not a finance guru. I don't really know the technical terms for these things. If you want to have more information about what I'm talking about, just go and research them. But from my understanding, a Perkins loan is one that a student takes out if they're gonna be in the human services field, like anything that has to do with helping out the community, like not community service, because community service is like free, right? But in terms of being like a teacher, somebody who works in like a school district, somebody who provides services to like unfunded neighborhoods or rural areas, those types of things. If you're in a human service type of field, there are some options that Perkins loans may have a repayment program. Like if you work a certain amount of time in a specific area, because it's like a high needs area, they may pay a portion of your loan back for you after a certain period of time. As for private loans, those can be anything like bank loans. Like you could get a loan from your private bank, you could go to somewhere like a credit union, you could get a loan from like an organization, those types of things. Those are considered private loans. And now, from my understanding, from what was explained to me, they are both beneficial. So subsidized and unsubsidized Stanford loans are just as beneficial as private loans. The only difference that I'm like registering in my head is if you're a person who has good credit and you know you're good with managing money and you're not going to go spend frivolously, then it would be beneficial for you to get a private loan. But at the same time, if something was to happen to you after you graduated and you weren't able to work, you wouldn't be able to put that loan into deferment, meaning that you wouldn't be able to like pump a brake with the loan. Like it's just like any other bill. It's due when it's due, and it could possibly mess up your credit. So at the moment I have really good credit. So when I was speaking with the person who gave me the advice, they were like, well, since you're already good with money, it doesn't matter if you get a private loan or a government student loan or something like that, because I have a plan that I want to pay off my loan in a specific amount of time. I don't want to like have it over like a 40-year span. I want to get this stuff out of the way because I'm one of those people who wants to build wealth in their lifetime. I just come from a community where I haven't seen a lot of that, like building of wealth. I just see like everybody has to have the nicest car, the nicest phone, the nicest house, that type of stuff. So I want to have that loan money, that generational money that I could pass down to my kids and my grandkids, that type of stuff. So back to the different types of loans. So now I have pretty good credit for somebody my age, but if I were to graduate and I was to get in some type of accident of some sort and I wasn't able to work, then my credit would take a really big hit from me not being able to pay back that loan. Now, opposed to having a federally funded student loan, if you fall on a hardship, you can put your loan into deferment. Like if something happens to you where you like lose a job or something like that, they can not garnish the payment, but they can lower your payment based off your income. That gets me into this next thing. Like my mindset on taking out loans is, if you are somebody who's pursuing a degree, I'm not going to knock anybody's major, but if you have like a general major that you can do at any college or university, don't spend your time taking out loans to go to an Ivy League school to do it. Now, I don't want to water down anybody's hopes and dreams. It just doesn't make sense to me if I were doing a plain Jane degree that, not many people could do much with a bachelor's level degree in that field. I wouldn't want to go to a school that's going to cost me like $60,000 a year or $50,000 a year when the return investment from that loan is just going to be like making $45,000 a year pre-taxed. Like it just doesn't seem smart, because what kind of lifestyle will you be able to upkeep if your loans are going to build interest and then the amount that you owe is like significant? It's either how much you will get paid a year, but the interest is it's a lot. So just take what I say with a grain of salt. Like I said, I'm not trying to knock anybody's hustle. If you want to go to an Ivy League school to study I'm not going to call anything out because I know somebody's going to mention it in the comments. But if you want to just go study something really general, I wouldn't advise you to go and take out a substantial amount of money in loans to go to that school when the career you're going to have is not going to pay you as much as you're going to need to pay back, because you're not going to be able to upkeep a certain type of lifestyle. Not that you need to live above your means, but you don't want to spend half of your paycheck paying back student loans. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so on to the next thing. I pulled up on my phone some different types of loans, and I'm just going to read them off in no particular order, just the way that they have them listed on the website. And if you are interested in taking out some loans, maybe these will help you. If they do help you, if the information that I'm saying here today is helpful to you, leave a comment below and tell me, like, have you ever taken out a student loan? If so, you don't have to tell me how much, but, you know, was it enough just to cover your tuition and your books? Was it enough to help you cover your living expenses? You know, I don't know those types of things, so leave a comment below and let me know. Alright, so starting from the beginning, the first type of loan that I see, and this website is debt.org, and I want to put this out there. Did you know that as a country, we are in student loan debt over $1 trillion or so dollars? Like, that's alarming. That is alarming. Like, that means people are going to school, getting an education, but not being able to afford to pay it back. So that's telling you something. We have different nations that are providing college for free and going the expense to go to university for free, but you know what? In those nations, they don't even need to work because their parents have long money. Okay, and that's the kind of money I want to build. All right, so the first type of loan that I see is the Stanford loans, which is the subsidized and the unsubsidized loans. I see the direct consolidation loans. I don't really have too much experience with that. I think that's like when you graduate and you have all these different little loans, like subsidized and unsubsidized, but you go to your bank and you say, hey, I want to consolidate this into one lump sum payment so that you, instead of paying on 7 different accounts, you just have one interest rate for one big lump sum of money. I think that's what it is, but don't quote me on that. We also have the Perkins loans, which is what I explained to you earlier. We have the PLUS loans, and if my memory serves me correctly, I think a PLUS loan is when you could take it out, I believe, either in undergrad and graduate school, but it's like where you're an adult, you're able to get your own loan, but this is where your federally funded loans won't cover your entire tuition, books, and all that good stuff, so you would need somebody like a parent to co-sign on this loan for you. So I think that's what a PLUS loan is when you are able to take out extra money beyond what the federal government is offering, but you need your parents to co-sign for you. And then they have private education loans, which is probably the ones from the bank. They have on this website, they also have, you know, things comparing federal loans versus private loans. Just to read a little bit of it, it says, undergraduate students applying for federal loans will not have to go through a credit check. Graduate students seeking federal loans must go through a credit check and could be denied loans if there's adverse information in their credit history. Like I said, the private loans are credit based, so if you have a good credit score, then you're most likely to get approved to have a private loan. But if you don't have a good credit score and you don't have a good track record with paying things back, then you can get denied for a loan from a private bank. It says credit checks are the norm for public loans. A credit score of 640 or better is required, and depending on the terms and conditions, you may need a score much higher than that to be approved. All I'm telling you guys is to go out, do your research, and find which loan works best for you. Now, if you want my personal opinion on things, just to, like, you know, take a step back, for me, I can only say that I have a goal that I want to reach, right? So loans are a blessing and a curse for me because they're going to help me get to that goal that I have. You know, I don't have the funds. I don't have anybody in my family who's, you know, giving me a handout for money for school or anything. So it's just like, okay, I have a goal and I see where I need to be. I see where I want to go. I know how I'm going to get there. The loan is going to help get me there. And I would say to you, if you have a dream that's so big that the only thing getting in your way is a loan, get the loan, because you can always pay it back. You know, life goes on, time goes on, money is going to be made, money is going to be spent. So whether you're spending your money on a new pair of sneakers, on a new flat screen TV, on a new car, or you're spending it on your education, spend the money on the education that's going to help further you. And for those of you who don't need student loans, if this video wasn't helpful to you, forward it to somebody else who it could have been helpful for. I'm just saying, for me, if I know that there's somewhere that I want to be in life, I'm not going to let a couple dollars slow me down from getting there. So if you guys think that this video was very helpful, leave a comment below, hit that like button, share it with somebody on your Facebook page, something like that. Just, you know, spread the word. Don't be afraid of student loans, because we're not all born into the Joneses family, you know. And if you know somebody in the Joneses family, tell them come hook me up with some money so I don't have to pay out of pocket for grad school. Peace. Oh.